There's enough blame to go around for this Buffalo Sabres team. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sports Talk Buffalo. There's more than enough blame to go around with this insanely average Sabres team. So let's start with the no-shows for this Sabres team, beginning with our number one center in Tage Thompson, who after a nearly 100-point season, he had 94 points last year, after a near 100-point season and a near 50-goal season, has regressed to a point in which he has just 26 goals and 49 points in 64 games, and he has been largely invisible for a large majority of this season. Now, sure, you can sit here and blame some of the injuries that he has sustained, and I will even admit that, yes, that is probably part of the reason why we have seen such a regression in Tage Thompson. Again, nearly 100 points. Did we think that he would get back there? No, probably not. Most realistic Sabres fans did not think that he would hit more than 100 points this season. However, I don't think any of us expected the regression that we have seen, even when he is healthy, that we have seen from him this season. Just 49 points in 64 games. Again, you cannot simply blame all of his misfortune on injuries, all of his bad play on injuries. Tage Thompson has not performed like a majority of this Buffalo Sabres team. However, you will need Tage Thompson to produce at a level closer to last season, even 2 seasons ago, if this Buffalo Sabres team is to be successful moving forward. Secondly, I want to talk about their number 2 center, who everyone believed is their number 2 center on this team, and that is Dylan Cozens. Cozens has suffered a massive drop-off from last season where he was electric. And we thought that that's where he might stay. A 60 to 70 point guy on a regular basis. However, Dylan Cozens has dropped from a .84 points per game last season to a mere .58 points per game this season. He is not even on pace to break 50 points. And that is incredibly concerning because the Buffalo Sabres, after just one good season, decided that that one good season was enough to lock him up for 7 years at $7 million per year. That's a major, major concern for all Sabres fans. Is Dylan Cozens a one-hit wonder? If he is, this franchise is in big trouble because he is slotted to be our 2C for the next 7 years. And it's not just even Dylan Cozens and his point production. His overall play has been off, has been bad, hasn't been the Dylan Cozens that we all loved when he first came into the NHL. He is playing scared. He is playing tentative. He is playing like he is just absolutely petrified of his own shadow out on the ice. He is not the power forward that we need him to be in order to be successful. And I think it all changed after he got filled in by Garnett Hathaway earlier this season. After that game, he was a different Dylan Cousins than we had grown accustomed to. Again, just playing a very tentative, very scared game, not getting in your face, not getting in front of the net, being a very perimeter player. That is not who he has to be in order to be successful. Dylan Cousins does not seem as though he can drive play. Dylan Cousins needs to get to the dirty areas in order to be successful. He needs to be a physical player in order to be successful. And this season, he is a shell of himself. And then we talk about, and while we're on the topic of Dylan Cousins, I want to talk about the comments he made after the most recent loss against this Toronto Maple Leafs team. He said, quote, talking about the crowd, he said, quote, "It's something if we could get that support on the road someday, it would be great." He taken a little shot at the fans for not showing up at KeyBank Center when they got their dicks beat in by the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know if you know this, Dylan, but you gotta fucking win something if you want fans to show up. You gotta win if you want fans to show up, Dylan. It's the same kind of thing you talk about Tuck getting upset that the Sabres were chanting, "Fire Donnie" earlier in the season. Man up. You guys are playing like shit. If you don't want Don Granato to be fired and you want Sabres fans to show up to the arena, don't suck. Or at very least, if you're gonna suck, play with some fucking heart. The fact that at the end of the game, which brings me to my next point, at the end of the game, you have a guy running around in Bertuzzi punching your star player in the face in Rasmus Dahlin, likely going to be your next captain, and nothing gets done about it. It's insane. This team is physically soft. This team is mentally soft. This team has no heart. That is what fans get on them about. If you are going to lose, at least lose and show some fight. Show that you give a shit instead of these snide comments after the game. Of course Toronto fans are going to invade our building. You guys suck. It's been 13 years since the Sabres made the playoffs. Of course, it's not all on you. But after a season in which you missed the playoffs by 1 point, you followed up with basically the same group with a massive drop-off. You followed up and you guys haven't been in the playoff race. Realistically, I mean, some Sabres fans will still say they were in the playoff race the whole time. Horse shit. They haven't been in the playoff race since they lost to Detroit at home to potentially get within 1 point of the final playoff spot. It's insane. The Sabres, again, this is on the entire team. I want to blame the entire team. They lack any heart, any toughness. They're both mentally and physically weak. There's no pushback ever with this team. That is what's frustrating. It seems like you guys go through the motions, like you don't care. If you drop the gloves and get beat up, so what? It happens. It's part of the game. Stand up for one another. On the ice at the end of the Toronto game, the Sabres had 6'6" Jordan Greenway, 6'6" Tage Thompson, 6'6" Owen Power, 6'4" Alex Tuck, 6'3" Rasmus Dahlin. You know what they did? Fuck all nothing when Dahlin got punched in the face and Paterka got punched in the face by Bertuzzi. What did they do? The Sabres might be big, but they don't play big. They don't act big. No heart. None. Sabres fans are fed up with it. That's why your building was invaded by Toronto Maple Leafs fans. They have taken on the persona of their head coach, which brings me to my next point, or next blame, and that is Granato was a fun story for a couple of years. The fun memes of Donnie Meatballs and winning a little bit last year and having some fun, scoring a ton of goals. But last year was the ceiling. I am convinced. Last year was the ceiling of what you are going to get with this team with John Granato behind the bench. How many times did the Buffalo Sabres come out and not look prepared to play? How many times this season where Granato and his staff were unable to get a full effort out of this team? How many times did they look lackadaisical, sloppy on the ice? How many times did they look ill-prepared? That is pure coaching, people. Pure coaching. There should be no reason why your team does not come and show up every single game. If you came and you guys looked like you were giving maximum effort every second of every shift, blocking shots, throwing hits, crashing the net, sure, people would still probably absolutely love you. But right now, after a 13-year drought, fans are getting fed up, and it seems like you guys don't give a shit. And part of that is on Don Granato. They have taken this lackadaisical, less than intense persona of their head coach, and that is part of the problem. The Buffalo Sabres need a new voice, a new head voice in that locker room, because whatever the message is, it is not working for Don Granato and this Buffalo Sabres team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know there's a lot of blame to go around on this Buffalo Sabres team. It's obviously not on all on Tage Thompson and Dylan Cousins, but those are the faces of your franchise. So they are going to get a lot of the blame, especially with huge drop-offs that we saw this season. Same with Don Granato. These guys are the faces of the franchise, so they shoulder or will shoulder most of the blame for this organization's failures. Again, plenty of blame to go around. It is not solely those three that I named. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I try to answer each and every one of you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always, guys, have a fantastic week.